Hi everyone, how you doing? It's Harry. So England have just came out victorious at Wembley. Was that a convincing display from England? Southgate, we're going to be talking about in today's stream. We're going to be talking about this three at the back and is it going to work? We've only got one more friendly to go before the World Cup. Is that going to be working? I want to know what you think in the live chat, of course, and if you're watching on the rerun, let us know in the comments down there below. So is the three working at the back? Players who are not there, who haven't been selected by Gareth Southgate. I know I'm bringing it up, but there is, looking at that, you could do with a John Joe Shelby amongst that England bench for me. Nigeria as well. We'll have a little chat about them. I'm covering Nigeria in the World Cup. They're in the group of death with the likes of Croatia, Iceland, and Argentina. So I'll be looking at. It was a bit of a scouting mission for me today, and looking at Nigeria as well. As you can see at the bottom, you've got the lineups, of course, as well, and the substitutes which came on for Nigeria as well. And then we'll have a look and we'll read some of your live thoughts as well. So I thought, looking at the lineups, it wasn't too surprising. Well, we know that Danny Rose is going to be first choice on that left wing back, and he wasn't fully fit. So I can understand why Ashley Young started. And I feel Ashley Young isn't the answer at left back. I know he keeps cutting in with his right foot. We know he's predominantly a winger who's been asked to fill in at Man United this year. Is he England's first choice on that left? No, we know that Danny Rose will start. There was some talk on ITV just earlier, is Gary Cahill the answer? Because they think that Harry Maguire will start in the World Cup. Is it Maguire? Is it Gary Cahill at the back for yous? I'm undecided. It's like flip a coin. I'll probably go with Harry Maguire. It's interesting that he went with Jordan Pickford. If you look at England's back four, including the goalkeeper, so you've got Pickford, you've got Walker, you've got Stones and Cahill. They can all play with the ball, and it looks like Southgate's adamant that he's going to play this way, including even Harry Maguire could have come on. I know he's struggling a little bit, but this week, but they're all playing centre backs. They can all bring the ball out, and that's why I think Jamal Lascelles has struggled. If there was to be another injury at that back, it's either Jamal Lascelles or Chris Smalling, which have already gone on record and said you've got to pick one of those two. And then you look at the midfield. We didn't have Jordan Henderson. I think he will start, whether you like him or not, being Geordie's. I think he will start. We know that Trent Alexander-Arnold and Jordan Henderson didn't play because of their involvement with the Champions League final. I think Lingard will be pushed further forward in the World Cup, whether he starts or not, it's a different matter. I think you'll go with Darren Henderson for the World Cup and those two holding midfielders. And then you can have, the likes of your Lingards, your Dele Allis, your Sterlings, and Harry Kane. I think he will go for one up top. I think it looks set in stone, this formation. I can't see it changing. And now we've got the friendly on Tuesday. And will he change the formation? I cannot see it. He might change a couple of personnel, but after that, can't really see that as well. We'll touch on Nigeria in just a second. I'm just going to have a look at what you have been saying in that live chat there. So, Haribora said, great first half, absolutely shocking second half. Yeah, I would totally agree with that. I think first half we come flying out the blocks. And as I've touched upon, I'll be covering Nigeria in the World Cup for our channel in that Group D. And what Nigeria were doing, I noticed a lot in that first half, they were letting England have the ball around that halfway line area. And if you're giving Premier League players, well, whatever you think of England, if you're giving Premier League players the space to hit a pass, I know you could say John Joe is ideally for that. There was too much space for England, and England had runners going in behind, and Nigeria really struggled. The first goal was great, absolutely great header by Gary Cahill. I don't think there's anything that the Nigerian defence could have done that. The second goal, it's a goalkeeping error, quite clearly. He's not the regular. It's normally Ajax's goalkeeper who plays in goal for Nigeria. I think he's got to do a lot better, but it goes in the back of the net. England deserved it going into half-time, 2-0 up. Second half, Nigeria come flying out the blocks. Igalo hit the post and it came back to Alex Iwobi. And I've looked back at that. It's actually Jesse Lingard who was actually sleeping, not following up his runner. So Jesse Lingard was asked to play in a deeper role today, which I don't think he will in the World Cup. And he doesn't track his man, so maybe, Southgate, you don't play him there. But I can understand because of an injury. And the game really fizzled out. It really, really did. It was a poor second half display. All the substitutes came in. Nobody really impressed for me from Nigeria's point of view and England's point of view. I do have to point out that Nigerian support was absolutely fantastic. We know that there's a lot of Nigerians that live in London, and it's like a local game for half of them. A lot of them have travelled as well, also buying out their new kit, which is it's a gorgeous kit, I have to say. massive support, loud. They booed Dele Alli when he went off, which was quite funny because I know that Dele Alli's dad is Nigerian. He'd literally done a runner when he was born, wasn't he? And that's the reason why Dele Alli doesn't like to have Ali on the back of his shirt. Let's have a look at some more of your comments as well. Liam said Iceland and Argentina will go through in Nigeria's group. So Liam, do you not reckon Croatia will? It's a group of death, like, but I do have to say, in Nigeria, I mean, you look at the names coming up here, and you probably look at the first half, you're thinking, who are them? But then you start looking at the attacking threat, who they have. I mean, you've got Musa coming off the bench and Iheanacho coming off the bench as well. Most countries, I know England, take England aside, but lesser countries will be like, fuck me, this is, quality players coming off the bench. And then you've got the likes of your regulars, which everybody knows, like the likes of John Obi Mikel. Victor Moses, I don't think he's great at left wing back. He needs to move over to the right side for the World Cup for me. And then you've got abundance of talents like Igalo up top as well. So they've got talent. Alex Iwobi is another one. I remember seeing him years ago for the under-23s for Arsenal, but they do have talent going forward. Defensively though, I think they're shocking. I think they will be found out. So, but it's good that we get African nations in the World Cup as well, because they bring colour. The fans get mental as well. It's good for the World Cup because a lot of people this year are not up for the World Cup, and I'm still not up for the World Cup yet because we know how England is. When England get put out of the World Cup or a tournament, I am a little bit down, I'm not going to lie, but the next day I'm like, forget about it. When Newcastle were relegated, I've said this many times, it absolutely killed me. It's a different kind of, Newcastle's my passion. England's like a friendly mate who you haven't seen for a while. That's, if you know what I mean, that's what, I'm not describing that very well, but good luck to Nigeria because I want to see them go well. As I say, a lot of them have played in England before. Reese says, watch the match in a pub, it was awful, did nothing after the 2 goals. Yeah, Reese spot on about that. Jack says, England have the most boring second half since Iceland. It's a friendly, so we'll try and be a little bit slack with them. Matthew says, I'm pretty happy with the team, all the formation, surprised how much Ali got booed. Yeah, I touch upon that as well, he got massively booed when he got subbed off because of links to Nigeria with his dad. Thomas Smith says, once Nigeria up their game, once Nigeria changed the formation, it completely changed the game. A great first half with a lot of attack and play, but we need to put these chances away. Yeah, Raheem Sterling, what do you reckon of him? He was playing in this number 10 today, and he was floating around, and it does stretch the defence, I've noticed that. But, he has scored over 30 goals in 2 seasons for Manchester City, but I still feel, I don't want to come across as too negative, but I still feel he needs to improve on his finishing. I really do. I know Guardiola's worked on him tirelessly, and he has improved, don't get me wrong. But for him, and then, because let's face it, if you look at that England squad, for me, there's only one world-class player. That's it. I think Harry Kane is up there as world-class. I think you've got then several of good players who could potentially jump up there. But for me, for Raheem Sterling, to get world-class, he's got to start putting a lot more chances. And Raheem Sterling needs 3-4 chances per game. And he's lucky that he's in a Manchester City side that can have all those chances. Because if he plays for Newcastle, you probably get 1, 2 maximum in his position. And how many goals, his goals will decrease because he's getting a lot more chances. But I like him, don't get me wrong. I think he has to start because he stretches the defence. But he's got to start, he's got to learn, and hopefully doesn't, I'm not picking on him because I could say the same about Jesse Lingard, but that's what I got from the first half when, Thomas was mentioning the chances being missed there. I would say it's Raheem Sterling predominantly. Reece says nothing had changed in that team, same tactics, same shite, boring. Reece isn't very happy. Obayed Ali says, this England side is not worth watching because there's no Lascelles or Shelvey. It would have been nice to say young players getting chosen because England don't win the World Cup. Well, we have won the World Cup when none of us were around in 1966. But to be credit to Southgate, I've stuck up for him, said that he has actually picked youth. So I'm going to disagree with you on that because he has gone and picked young players. The only problem that I have with Southgate, and I've said this numerous times now, is when he first come in, he dropped Rooney, he didn't play him, and I like that because he wasn't picking players on reputation, and then he's fallen back on that. For me, Danny Welbeck, why is he in that England side? I was looking at the stat during the game. Danny Welbeck's only got into double figures twice in 9 seasons. That's when he hit 10 goals and 12 goals. I mean, There is other English strikers there who should be on merit ahead of him, but he's picking players on reputation. And for me, you should not be doing that. You pick your players who are on form. I know I'm being biased with Lascelles and Shelvey, of course we are, but they're two lads who are on form. If there's another injury to our centre backs, Lascelles has to be next. There's no one else. He's already said that Smalling's not good enough. Feels like I'm repeating myself all over again, doesn't it? Costa Rica on Thursday. Yeah, Jody, I thought it was Tuesday. Was it not Tuesday? It's one of the midweek games. We'll be covering that. That's probably not going to be a live stream. It's probably going to be a later game. We know that Rob is going to be covering England as well. He's got England's group in the World Cup. So with the World Cup coming up as well, not many probably know that, but we've got 8 presenters who are amongst that. So there's the usual 4 at Newcastle Fans TV. There's Kyle, there's Rob, there's Fordy, and he's going to kill me if I've forgotten him. Sharky, Lisha. There's 8 of us basically who are going to be presenting each groups as well. So keep an eye out for that as well. It's going to be daily videos in the World Cup, but we're not forgetting the tune. James says, hi Newcastle Fans TV. You alright, James? How are you doing? You alright? Who do you think will win the World Cup? France. I've already got on record and said that on my second channel, Newcastle Fans TV spin-off. Get over there, subscribe to it, because we're doing videos away from the tune. We've talked about the World Cup. We've just recently talked about the promoted sides, the 3 promoted sides coming up who would stay up, like Wolves and Cardiff and that. But yeah, I think France will, because they've got a great attacking sense going forward. And the amount of people that they've left behind, that list would just walk in England's side. Liam says, Iceland are a decent team, to be fair. They'll surprise a lot of people. Yeah, they will do. Argentina, I expect to top their group as well. France, yeah, I have to agree. Liam says, if we get smashed against the likes of Belgium, we can't even kill off teams like Nigeria. He thinks we will get smashed off Belgium. Hopefully, we've already got the 2 wins in that Belgium game. We've got a better goal difference than them. Going into that 3rd game and maybe a draw will keep us top of that group. Should Sterling be a starter in Russia, Liam? Yeah, I've already said, yeah, he should be. But for me, because he stretches the defence and he creates a lot of space around him for other players, just his finishing needs to work on, that's all. Who do you think will win the World Cup? Just said that. Good lad, Lee. Hiya, Nick. How you doing, Nick? You alright? The other, Niall says, I think sometimes we miss Shelvey. Yeah. We're going to be talking about that probably all the way through the World Cup. And I bet you there's a commentator who brings up Shelvey when we're struggling in a game. I can see it coming as well. Do you mean West Ham won the World Cup in 1966? Yeah, Liam. Liam goes on. Another Liam says, it was painful towards the end seeing Loftus-Cheek try to curl a long range pass in the box. Shelvey will be getting that spot on. Yeah, of course we want Jonjo Shelvey in that lineup. We're not going to deny that. He should be in there. It'd be interesting if there was another injury though, wouldn't it? Because I actually think going for Lallana's better than what Loftus-Cheek is personally. And Fabian Delph, I've got to bring this up. We thought he might be playing as a left back, but it's clearly now he came on and he's playing in the centre midfield role to shore up the defence. Fabian Delph. He's played left back all season for Manchester City, and now he's in the England squad as a centre midfielder. I'm against that. I'm massively against that. Not happy with that. Bobby says, if we can only beat Nigeria 2-1 with our starter team 2 weeks before World Cup, what chance do we have? I think Vardy would be dark horse for us. We need a player like Shelvey to break down the defence. But let's be honest, it is a friendly. Nigeria will hurt whether they get through their group stage or not. They're in the group of death, like I said, with the likes of Iceland, Croatia and Argentina. Don't be too surprised if Nigeria beat one of the other 2. I think they've got a quality going forward, or get a draw against Argentina. It wouldn't surprise me massively, but you're all right. There is going to be times. Look, let's be honest, England are not one of the favourites to win the World Cup. We're one of the favourites to probably get the last 8 possibly, but apart from that, I can't say it's going any further. Gale has scored more goals than Welbeck. That's embarrassing. Yeah, that's by Liam. Bobby says, if you can bring one England player back from the golden age, who would it be? Bloody hell. Who would that be? Do you know what it is? Gaza. I'd probably bring Gaza back in this side. The reason being is we'll lack creativity in that midfield, that centre midfield role. And I think someone like Gaza will be absolutely perfect for that. Thanks for the shout out, Lee. England, we're crap today. Yeah, I totally agree. France beat Germany. France to beat Germany in the final, Liam reckons as well. 52 years of hurt. Yeah, the lack of creativity is where Jonjo Shelvey. That's where England is missing against Nigeria. I dread to think what happened when we played Belgium. That was by Geordie. Who do you think we will get knocked out of the World Cup? Says James. Well, I think we'll go through. I think we're going to be playing against Panama and Tunisia. I know Tunisia drew Turkey the other night 2-2. But I think we'll get through. and then we'll play Poland or Colombia in the last 16. That is going to be tough, because I think Colombia's got a lot of hidden gems. Polish players we know a lot of, especially the bigger names. I expect England to get to the last 8, then get knocked out by one of the big boys. That's what I think as well. Liam says, do you think we should stick to our system? Stick with the wing backs or change a flat back 4? Well, now he's gone with 3 at the back. I don't see the point in changing it because it could be drastic. Am I for that? No. I would like to see 2 up top or 1 off, just and 2 out-and-out wingers. I'm old school me. That's what I like. And I think England, when we had the golden age with Beckham, Scholes, Lampard, and one of them was pushed out. I think it was Paul Scholes pushed out left midfield to allow Gerrard and Lampard to play in centre mid. I think you've got to go back to basics for me. 4-4-2. That's what I would like. People are different. Newcastle are not a big club. This isn't Newcastle video, Keane. It's all about England. So if you want to talk about Newcastle, there's other plenty of channels out there you can look for. Jake says England to get knocked out in the group stage of the round 16. Yeah, England in the World Cup is like Arsenal in the Champions League. Newcastle have the potential to be massive. Poland will knock us out, says Liam. Henry, how are you doing? You alright? You're coming towards the end of the stream, Henry. Germany 2, France 1 in the final, says Jake as well. So that's been the stream. We'll be covering Tuesday. And then obviously the countdown for the World Cup close at the time. The Newcastle videos, just to give you a heads up, aren't going to stop. We've got a Newcastle video coming out tomorrow. It's 18 minutes long, valuing all the players. So that's going to be out tomorrow for you, because I know the news of Newcastle is a little bit dead. Remember, you've got the Facebook page. I've just done an article on there. You've got the website, newcastlefanstv.com, where you've got the articles going on there. You've got Twitter news every day as well. So there is still news going on at Newcastle. Most of them are just reports as well. James says, would you bring back Shearer back in the squad? Nah, I think I'll stick with Harry Kane. Not that I'm saying Shearer's shiting out. I just think we could do with Gaza in that centre midfield. Someone like a flair player. Someone who can unlock defence with a bit of craziness, a bit of moment of genius. And I think we lack that in centre midfield. I think Gaza would be great. England would be lucky to make the last 16, says Kane. Cheers, Lee. 3 lines. Come on, the boys. Terrible game. That's why I need Shelby in centre midfield, says Hugo. That's been the stream. If you're watching the rerun, let us know as well. England midweek will cover that game as well against the Costa Ricans. And of course, we've got the Newcastle videos coming up as well. They'll not stop tomorrow. As I say, that'll be tomorrow as well. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. What is all up to as well. Enjoy his night. Says ta-da. Bye-bye.